Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
We found 2+ Smiles when our kids outgrew their pediatric dentist, and my husband and I wanted a place where the whole family could be taken care of.
As far as technology goes, there is nobody more advanced than 2+ Smiles.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and we are in for quite a spectacular forecast moving into our Tuesday, but a cold start. And that's our first headline as we take a look here in the Room to Room Weather Center. It's just going to be that cold but not frosty start to our Tuesday. As you get a look right here at the top of your screen, cold but not frosty like I mentioned. Over that threshold, we could see a few windshields get a little bit of some frost on it, but that's in those extremely cold areas, not going to be widespread like what it was this morning. Gradually warming through this week, so that's something we can look forward to if you've not enjoyed the cold. But for me personally, I love the cold. I have the sweatshirts ready each morning, good to go with a smile on my face. But then we're also tracking dry conditions throughout this week, but Friday returning a little bit of that moisture. We'll have the latest breakdown of what to expect with those rain chances and the possibility of a few storms with that threat as well. So the first 12, no rain is expected in that forecast, but foggy conditions already moving into the area. 11 p.m. with those patchy fog conditions, and that continues into our morning commute as well. Just a result of no wind, not really clearing out that moisture, and of course just a little bit of that low-lying moisture still in the area. 42 by 2, 40 towards tomorrow morning, but gradually warming up with 64 returning by 11 a.m. So hot for this time of year, or at least for what we've been seeing. Returning to the forecast, I would say just warmer temperatures than what it has been. 43 degrees in Crenshaw, still with that wind, basically nothing. So it is a very calm evening across the region, and getting that look out of the southeast. We've been seeing this view since about 6 p.m. because, hey, time changes happened and that sun sets a little bit earlier. It's felt like nighttime even since dinner time. So it's a little bit of getting used to, still getting used to it in the Maynor household as well. 46 degrees in Columbus. Folks out on the roadways this evening and definitely have that heat cranked. I had mine on hot and high to make sure I stayed warm as I was outside and walking out and around. So definitely recommend that this evening. 46 degrees already, expected to cool off even more for folks down in Lowndes County. As we take a look outside right now, what we're seeing on Mississippi Live Weather Radar is dry conditions no matter where you're at. And if we cycle this back over the last hour, you can see that it's been dry all evening long. So any of those evening plans we had, we've gotten to enjoy a great forecast with it. And I hope that you were able to get out and about because it's been superb conditions. Looking at those rainfall totals over the past 3 days, we were talking about this at the 6 o'clock hour that there was rainfall over the weekend. Not exactly the case now. As we highlighted in a few of those totals, those rainfall amounts were not anything too major, just trace amounts, but past 24 hours, all of that is cleared out, and we're left with those dry conditions once again all throughout our Monday and really sticking around throughout this week due to high pressure. So as we take a look on our surface analysis right here, you can see high pressure reigning supreme right over the top of North Mississippi. And whenever that high pressure, the center of that sinking air, that's where those winds don't become as prominent. And of course, that's why we do have those calm conditions. But also with high pressure, it's a very dry setup. So if we expand things out, we can see that this is a dominant ridging pattern with our troughs out there towards the west coast and the east coast right here in the central United States. Been a ridging pattern. That usually means dry conditions. So as we take a look right there on Futurecast, you can see a little bit of that cloud cover due to some of that warmer air pushing in from the Gulf, that southerly wind right there, building in a little bit of that moisture. Not exactly the case over the top of us. If we bring it back in here to the Twin States there towards Mississippi and Alabama, you can see very little wind on the east side of the high, though. We are getting some of that northerly wind still in place, so colder sections out here towards Huntsville and Atlanta. A little bit warmer out there towards Texarkana, Little Rock, and Shreveport due to those shifts in the winds. As we head overnight, of course, that high is going to remain right over the top of us, so not really seeing a shift as of Tuesday morning. This is going to be pretty consistent with what things have been, and still not a lot of breezy conditions. It's going to really be a dry forecast for the good portion of North Mississippi. So enjoy that. Again, another day to take advantage of getting outside. Highly recommend you do that because we can see how rainy things get here in Mississippi. We had it last week. We're definitely going to soak in all of this dry and clear air while we have it. Tuesday afternoon, still sticking with those dry conditions. So like I said, get out there and enjoy it. Sunny skies all day long. Definitely not a forecast to complain about. I know the stereotypical best forecast is sunny and 75. How about sunny and 70. I mean, that's what we'll be reaching tomorrow afternoon. So that's as good a forecast as you're going to get here in early November. But we're going to continue to track these conditions heading into our Tuesday, Wednesday, but really pushing into our Friday forecast as some moisture returns and rainfall as well. Now, will that rainfall have some storms? Will that rainfall have some strong storms? Well, we'll look at that in more detail coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's scary that it can be put into anything when we can't even see it or notice it.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Beautiful evening across North Mississippi. This will look out in Greenwood, and as you can see, 46 degrees. Dew point's currently at 43, so that drier air is still in place, allowing for that atmosphere to cool off, and those clear conditions also helping with that as well. But due to there not being really much wind, we could see some patchy fog for our morning commute heading into our Tuesday. As you look down there for commuters down at West Point, 44 degrees right now. Folks traveling along 45, an enjoyable evening for sure, especially when roadways are this clear in West Point. Granted, it is 10 o'clock on a Monday, but seeing this side, this is the most beautiful sight to me, is traveling on 45 through West Point and not dealing with an ounce of traffic. But what's also a beautiful sight is cool conditions back in the forecast once again. Fall in full swing, and we're soaking up all this cool air that we can. 45 in Tupelo, 43 Corinth, and 44 down there towards Columbus. We are still seeing low 50s out there towards Highway 61 with 50 in Greenville, 52 Cleveland, and 50 there towards Clarksdale. But things are definitely going to cool off, but not as much as what we saw this morning. Golly, time flies. But looking at that temperature change, we're seeing a 5, 6, maybe even 7 degree temperature change from this time 24 hours ago. So we said cold conditions, but not frosty conditions. Very applicable to tomorrow's forecast, but still bundle up whether there's frost on the windshield or not, because just because it's not 32 degrees doesn't mean it's not cold as you step out the door. Sweatshirt's still going to be necessary, but maybe not by the afternoon. Mississippi Live Weather Radar staying with those dry, clear conditions across North Mississippi. As we take a look at satellite imagery right here, really emphasizing those clear conditions, and that'll continue to be the case as we get into that extended forecast. Day planner, foggy conditions for the start of our Tuesday morning, but it's only for a few select areas. Let's go ahead and get into that here on Futurecast. As you can see right there, a lot of those dry conditions over the top of us, but this cloud cover, or at least what Futurecast is depicting as cloud cover, is actually patchy fog there at the surface. So we could see that from Shannon to Nettleton, all the way down there towards Amory and Aberdeen, and even including some areas out in the Delta from Indianola towards Hollandale. Watch how this builds overnight, and you kind of see those whites become a little bit more dense. So realistic possibility that some dense fog is in the forecast, but only for a few select locations right along Highway 45, and for folks out there towards the Mississippi Delta from Indianola to Belzona to Hollandale to Greenville. That's where we're tracking the most likely locations, but you can see some areas. Yes, patchy fog there towards Yalobusha County, towards Panola County. So it's going to be spread out, but not everyone going to be dealing with those foggy starts. But if you do have a foggy start, snap a picture. Send it to us here at Mississippi Live Weather. Meteorologist Maggie McCauley will show off those conditions and update you on the latest traffic coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6:30, 7, and 7:30. Low temperatures should also be tracking this, and currently we're seeing 38 degrees in Hamilton, 39 there towards Red Bay, 40 Water Valley, and 44 around Cleveland. That'll be for the start of your Tuesday, so bundle up, even though it's not frosty, because this is still a very cold forecast, and we definitely need to stay on the safe side. And that includes the little ones heading to the bus stop. Drop off currently about 40 degrees as you're taking those little ones to school with those foggy conditions still in place, so drive slow or drive carefully, and of course have those low beams on. By lunchtime, sunny skies back in the forecast, that sunshine burning up a lot of the moisture, and that includes that fog coverage. 64 degrees and then 69 by that last spell, still with plenty of sunshine. So if you have any after school plans, or even if you don't, go make some, because again, we need to take take advantage of this forecast as it is a very beautiful forecast. Let's keep that Tuesday morning going, and as you can see, a lot of that fog just dissipates out really quickly. That sunshine definitely doing its damage, but if we expand things out, you can see that the weather pattern has started to shift just a bit. What do I mean by that? Well, high pressure has transitioned a little bit more towards our east, and whenever it's more towards our east, you get this clockwise flow, which means that southerly wind pushes back into North Mississippi. That's where we could get those temperatures a little bit warmer. Let me rephrase that. We will get those temperatures to be a little bit warmer, but we'll also get a little bit of that moisture to return, not really setting the scene for tomorrow or really any part of the next several days, but into that extended forecast as that next system moves in, allowing for some of that instability to be in the forecast just a bit. So noontime, what are we getting? Well, that southerly wind still bringing in a little bit of that warmer air, and let me pause right there. Warmer being relatively speaking, warmer compared to the last several days. So that's what we're going to be getting. Not exactly a 90-degree day. This is going to be still 70s, but 70s is much warmer than where things sat at today at noon or Sunday at noon. So looking at that Tuesday afternoon, still sticking with those dry conditions as that ridging pattern still reigns supreme. I mean, you can pretty much see where the jet's positioned at with a lot of that action primarily out there towards the west, over the top on the Canadian border. That's where things sit with that next trough out there towards the Atlantic coast. So right here in North Mississippi, we're currently in a very dominant ridging pattern, and that'll keep us dry into those afternoon hours as well. As we keep that forecast going into your Tuesday evening, still with those dry conditions, but bringing things back into North Mississippi, you can see high temperatures definitely have shifted, and that'll continue to be the case for our Tuesday afternoon. 70 in Tupelo, 68 Iuka, 69 Oxford, 71 Cleveland, and 73 there towards Greenwood. If you look at our normal high temperature, around 69 degrees, so that's why I'm not saying hot forecast, but it's definitely warmer than where things have been. We're actually right around our average for what we typically expect this time of year. So, hey, back on track, finally. Let's look at that futurecast and the extended pattern. This is where I'm going to step over here and do a broad look at this because there's several things to assess. First one being this frontal system, first frontal system out there towards Omaha and Kansas. Watch how this pushes a little bit more southeast and we'll push into North Mississippi. As of right now, don't really have rain chances attached to this, but it could bring a little bit of that cloud cover over here towards North Mississippi, but even that, not exactly widespread. This is again 6 a.m. on your Wednesday. You see how that reaches there into North Mississippi, showing a little bit more of that moisture return. Wouldn't be surprised if a sprinkle or two tries to form on this, but I'm not overly sold on those rain chances. Still have a very dry cold front pushing into the region with a little bit of those partly cloudy skies. Let's bring things back out because we're not exactly tracking rainfall. That cold front primarily just going to be a wind shift and bring in some drier air for a few brief moments, couple of hours on your Thursday. But then we get this next system, and this next system is going to develop off of this trough out here towards the west coast. You can already see that cold front extending off of it, that building a little bit more towards the east, moving slowly, but that by Friday will be over the top of us and could produce a few showers, potentially a few storms, potentially a few strong storms, depending on how much of that instability is pushed back into the region. So paying attention to that in the extended forecast, but of course we'll keep eyes on it behind the scenes and let you guys know what you need to know, especially with some people's final week of high school football happening Friday night, or some people's first round of the playoffs. So this is a very important Friday, and we'll keep you guys as informed as possible. Low to mid-70s back into the forecast with 75 Eupora, 76 Kosciuszko and Grenada, 72 Senatobia, Holly Springs, Oxford. It's going to be a toasty one for sure as those temperatures continue to build, continue to gradually get warmer as the days go on. But forecasted rainfall over the next 3 days, despite the wind shift happening, stays dry throughout the entire time. But by Friday, there we're seeing that moisture return. So far, the Weather Prediction Center does have about 100 to a tenth of an inch. I would say that this could go a little bit over that depending on some of those isolated rainfall outputs, but this isn't really the concern. It's going to be the stronger thunderstorm potential that remains a part of this, and we'll look at that more in detail coming up for your Tuesday, but as of right now, we're basically keeping eyes behind the scenes. Currently 30% chance of those showers on Friday, but that's going to be a result of that cold front pushing through the region, giving us those chances of showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday through Thursday stays dry with that cloud cover building by Thursday. Temperature-wise, we're low to mid-70s throughout that time frame, and low temperatures, low to mid-40s throughout that same time frame. When the moisture does return, we see mid-70s in the forecast with mid-50s for lows. That's hinting at a little bit of those better rain chances. We start to see those temperatures come closer together, and it's doing exactly that. So pretty confident that rain and showers will happen, but In regards to what magnitude, that's still the question. Beyond that, your weekend forecast stays for the most part on the drier side once that line of showers and storms does clear out. And then we'll be left with a drier pattern and a cooler pattern heading into next Monday. So something we're paying attention to is that first freeze date. Still haven't reached it. 1 degree off this morning here in Tupelo. So when will that first freeze happen? Could be midweek next week as temperatures cool off once again, but we'll continue to keep eyes behind the scenes as to what will happen. So we do have a surprise for you guys. Something that's new with basketball season here. Our Will Kohlmeyer is down in Starkville filling us in on the Mississippi State and Ole Miss men's and women's basketball teams. He has the latest on what happened tonight and what the schedule is moving forward.
Happy college basketball season. I'm here at the Hump, where earlier tonight Mississippi State women won their season opener against Davidson, a hard-fought 66-57 win in opening night action. Destiny McFall was the story tonight for MSU. Game high 20 points. She had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals as Mississippi State wins the opener tonight, 66-57 over Davidson. Next up for MSU will be Friday morning, the kids game at 11 o'clock against Georgia State. Speaking of the kids game, that's how Ole Miss, Coach Yo and company started their season today in Oxford. It was close against Norfolk State in the first quarter. After that, it was all Ole Miss. They had 13 threes in that game. That's the most ever for a Rebel team under Coach Yo. They win going away against Norfolk State 87-46. And then tonight at the Pavilion, it was the Ole Miss men. Remember, they had that great Sweet 16 run a year ago, and Coach Beard and company started off tonight with no problem. An easy victory against Southeast Louisiana, 88-58, the final in that one, Ole Miss men. So the Ole Miss get a sweep today with the women and the men. The Mississippi State women won tonight against Davidson in their opener. That's why I'm here. I had the call of the SEC Network Plus broadcast on your ESPN app. Now, as for the Mississippi State men, they open on Wednesday night here at the Hump at 8 o'clock against UNA. So the Lions and the Bulldogs will be here Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Saw some of the Bulldog players, including Josh Hubbard, earlier today after their practice. They were here at the game tonight watching the women from Mississippi State play. And they say they are locked and loaded. They're ready. They can't wait to get this season started on Wednesday night. But that's Kohlmeyer's Corner for tonight. College basketball is here. I know we're all excited about that. That's the story here from Starkville. I'll send it back to the studio in Tupelo.
Well, thank you, Will, and thank you for joining us tonight for the 10 o'clock broadcast. I hope you guys are informed, staying weather aware, but excited for the next several days of beautiful weather. We'll have updates heading into our Thursday and Friday night as to what our game of the week is, potentially some Thursday night games in the mix. So we'll have that vote going live tomorrow morning. Go ahead and submit those votes and tell us where we're headed for our Mississippi Live Weather game of the week. And of course, Kohlmeyer's Corner will be back for the end of the week as well as he tracks out some of the best games across the area. So excited for it and excited for you guys to join us tonight. Always, we're a 10 o'clock family and I can see that all in the chat. See people asking how I'm doing. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Just excited for more cold weather. What can I say? I love the cold weather. Just puts me in the Christmas spirit. Oh, speaking of, I might have forgot something. We put a poll out the other day. Here is the result of our poll of the day. When do you put up your Christmas tree? And here's the results that we have. November 1st, unfortunately not on top, but here at the Maynor household, it definitely was. But the day after Thanksgiving, actually the overwhelming majority, over half of you guys saying that the day after Thanksgiving is when your Christmas tree is put up. But November 1st, a prominent number. And again, the Maynor household definitely voting for that as well. December 1st included and other as well. And I encourage you guys to go to the comments. It's on my page, Meteorologist Gabe Maynor. Go ahead and head over there and you can see some of the responses. One person said December 24th. Now we got to talk about that. One day to have a tree up? Oh my word, you're missing out on a whole season. That's why we do it on November 1st, so we get as much Christmas as possible without it being too much, you know, because there is a limit, I guess. But big thanks to everyone for voting. I love doing these from time to time because it's just a fun thing that we can do to kind of learn about each other at the same time, kind of, you know, see where our minds are at. So if you want to participate in this, follow Meteorologist Gabe Maynor or Matt Lobhon on Facebook, and we post these from time to time, and you're of course welcome to participate. So, Patty, love that tie. I don't even want to acknowledge it, but I will Meteorologist Caleb Edelblut won the bet when it came to Bills versus Chiefs, and I had to wear the Bills tie. Don't worry, there's a Chiefs tie coming in the mail, because when we play them in the playoffs, we know what happens. Mahomes does what Mahomes does. And check out meteorologist Caleb Edelblut with a Chiefs tie here in about 3 months. Excited for that. Anyway, go ahead and download the Mississippi Live Weather app, available on our on all app stores, whether that be iOS and Android, and it is free and available. Updates you on the forecast and also has our live shows on it. Speaking of live shows, going to be at 6:37 and 7:30 tomorrow morning with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. So make sure to join her with a warm cup of coffee to, of course, stay warm, but enjoy the great forecast that we'll have for our Tuesday. Did I say Monday? I meant Tuesday. Tuesday ahead. 5, 6, and 10, we'll be back here in the Room to Room Weather Center walking you through the latest on that forecast. So we expect to get to see you guys there. Until then, have a great night, and of course, have a happy Tuesday as we get into the next day.
Hi, my name is Rosie. Regional Rehab Center helps kids like me by offering speech therapy, occupational therapy, and dyslexia therapy. Your support helps so many of us get what we need to grow and succeed. Please help the Rehab Center.